So today I thought I'd do a video on my bag that I carry around with me during weddings. It's usually strapped onto me or sitting near me and keeps a lot of the vital equipment that I need during a wedding day. So this here is the ProMaster Blue Ridge large bag. When I was looking for a new kind of messenger bag, I was torn between this one and I believe it was a Think Tank one. Think Tank one's about $100 more. And what I really wasn't a fan of was that it was just a big flap over the top of it. Had Velcro on it that you could tuck away, so you didn't, you definitely don't want that ripping of Velcro during a wedding ceremony or anything like that. But what ended up making this the bag that I went with was the top zipper that gives you direct access to this internal pouch here. I really liked being able to just kind of keep this open, and it's pretty quiet to open and close. But what I didn't like with that Think Tank one was if I had the Velcro tucked away, that flap could just open up and end up dumping out a lot of the stuff that I keep inside of these bags. So let's get right into what it is that I keep inside of these bags. So let's get started with the front pouch on this bag. So here in the front, you got a zipper, and this all folds out here. So up front, I just keep my SD cards, spare batteries, the reflector for my Godox V1 Pro, the little white bounce card, not reflector. And up here, I'll keep like little snacks and stuff like that. I keep hair ties, just some stuff that's easy to get a hold of. Now, in the main pouch, so usually when I'm wearing this, I've got this closed and locked, and I just use the zipper to access it. A lot of the stuff that's up in the front pouch, I'm not trying to get to all that super often. If there's anything that I need out of there, usually it's going to be a battery. You don't change out SD cards, once or twice during a wedding shoot. But I keep up here my Godox V1 Pro. I almost always have my Fuji 14mm 2.8. This is a lens that, you don't use it super often, but it's a great one for any of those overhead type shots as they're walking down the aisle or walking back towards you. I use it a lot for the dance photos, things like that. So I usually just keep this in here because this is one that I'm going to swap out from one of the main lenses on my body. Of course, rags or lens wipes, the diffuser, little diffuser dome with the magnetic diffuser domes for the V1 Pro I keep in here. And I also I've got the which one is this, the Godox X3 Pro. This is the trigger that will trigger if I want to use my V1 Pro. There's a lot of times that I would use the V1 Pro where I will hold it in my hand with the bounce card just to change the shadows, especially for the detail shots. Some portraits I'll use it. So I've always got this in here, but it also triggers my 8200 Pros that I use during the dance floor for portraits, stuff like that. So I always keep that in here. And then I also keep the Godox IT30 Pro in here. This is the little on-camera flash. It can also be used as a remote. It can trigger my lights with this. I can also have this as a slave and trigger it with my remote, so I can, again, just hand hold it, where you're holding it off the side to be able to cast shadows, stuff like that. Something I also keep in here, because throughout the day, I will be switching between that flash and my V1 Pro. Generally, when I've got this one on camera, it's during the dance portion of it, getting the light movement stuff, doing the shutter drag. I'll use this one. I just find that one works a little better. It's a lot more of a direct, but not as powerful. The V1 Pro, when you're using this one direct, it tends to focus the light a lot more and doesn't quite create the effect that I'm after. Then here in this little back pouch, I just keep a little blower, more lens wipes, and I always keep a notebook with me, just writing down any important stuff, different ideas, whatever it is I need to write down. I always keep a notebook with me. Now on the back side, I got a little zipper back here. It just gives you a little extra slot. Usually I just keep my business cards back here. Any vendor business cards that I get, I will drop back here. Vendor business cards are something every wedding photographer, you should be getting those from all your vendors. It's a great idea to tag your vendors in any social media posts. It helps build relationships with other vendors who might suggest you to other couples. And it's just nice to have that relationship because, You know, especially in the area that I live in, it's not like there's a ton of different wedding vendors. So the odds are you're going to end up working with those various vendors, you know, through the years. You're going to see them again. So it's good to have those relationships. And on the side of these bags, you just got the little, you know, the little water bag, little water pouches, I guess, whatever, to put your water bottles in. And that's what I usually do, keep a water bottle on me. I won't have it on me during the ceremony portion of it because they'll tend to make noise. Because really all this can fit is just like those plastic water bottles. So those plastic water bottles make that crunchy sound and stuff like that. But they're kind of nice to, you know, I'll drop my, when I replace out a battery, I'll drop my spent battery into these pouches here so that I know that that one needs to go back and get put onto a charger. Yeah, overall, I do like the bag. You know, it's not bad. I think you can pick them up for, I think I've seen them as low as $60. I think I paid 80 or 90 for it. It's like, as I said, you know, overall, it's a good bag. I haven't had it super long, so we'll see what the durability is of it throughout this wedding season, and maybe I'll report back on that. But yeah, that's the bag that I carry with me for every single wedding, and it's really not much changes on the inside of it. Once in a while, I'll swap out, I'll take out the remotes, and I'll have my 55 to 200 in here. But other than that, for the most part, this is what stays inside my bag on a wedding day.